Welcome back to part 2 of the Lahaina fires going on in Maui, Hawaii. We just want to let you all know that this is a crazy time going on. Also that this production is being done by Kairos Productions by our brother Jose. You can find him on Instagram and also his channel on YouTube and many other places. But yeah, thank you for being back with us today. And I'm going to pass this on to Pastor Marty. Can you tell us a little about what's going on?
I'm Pastor Marty Ka'olilapono, and this is my associate pastor,
Pastor K. Aloha.
And so we just want to say this real quick is last week we shot a podcast and about what's going on in Lahaina. And at the time, we were just barely finding out whether or not we had family members in Lahaina. And so we were found out that everybody's clear from all of that. We had nobody. As my family, there's 17. My father has 16 siblings, so there's 17 total. So that's quite a big family. So anyways, we found out that everybody was good. Want to tell you, don't forget to check out Fearless Church, subscribe to our podcast, and
like our videos
share
on
this
YouTube.
because people need to get this information out there.
Yes.
This isn't so much about our church stuff or our messages or the things but this is stuff that's pertinent right now to what's going on in our country. So it's an important thing we want to talk about. So
it needs to be shared around. It's very important.
As you know, last week's topic was we talked about Tulsi Gabbard being there. We talked about the amount of work the locals were doing that they had not seen in FEMA or any government agencies and all that type of stuff. And want to say this, what you're seeing on the propaganda media and news networks, it's not true. There's locals that we're in contact with that are coming out of there. We'll show you some of that today that are basically, and if you remember last week, we talked about conspiracy theorists.
Yeah.
We're finding out that our conspiracy theorists, that we're
absolutely coming true.
We are more correct than we are wrong and stuff. So want to talk about that a little bit because a lot of times whenever you got that foil hat on and we come out right more than we are wrong. And I want to say this, repeat this from last week. It's a good thing to be wrong as a conspiracy theorist. Again, I will repeat and say that started with the JFK assassination, with Magruder films and all the information. People started going, we're suspicious about what's being said. That's all it is when we say something else is happening there. Well, when we look at all of what's happening in Hawaii, too many things happened wrong at the same time. Here's a case. For a school day, they kept the kids out of school. That meant the kids were home while the parents were away working. We have no kind of alarms. People were told it was safe to return back to their homes. Right. Whenever they'd get another brush fire that would stir up the fire department, it would knock it all down and things like that. And we can talk more about that a little bit later on.
Well, like you said, Pastor, you said with some of the videos we're going to show these people today. Also, the fact is, your news networks will lie to you. A lot of other people will probably lie about what's going on out there. If you really want to know a lot of the truth that's happening, look up just what Dad was saying before. The locals who are there in Lahaina. These locals are putting out videos all over the place. You can watch what they're saying about their home. This is not going according to what the government is telling you. It's not the truth. Yeah, keep going.
Well,
Pastor.
I haven't spent, a plethora of hours at this and stuff. So it's easy to find out. My point is, if you just spent an hour or two just researching some of the local videos that are coming out of there, some of the propaganda you're seeing is, for instance, we see the president finally after 2 weeks. Remember, this was the 8th that this went on when this fire happened. Yeah. And many residents were told to return to their homes because the fire had been put out. Several times, what people don't understand is that the fire started around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, little brush fires, and they put it out. And then all of a sudden they get called back out and say, we have another fire over here. They put it out. They put another fire, and everybody went on with their normal day. Tourists were doing the same thing they always do, just a little grass fire. And then it turned into the greatest catastrophe.
One of the biggest catastrophes
in our modern history. I mean, I was trying to think things that go back to the San Francisco earthquake, Chicago fires. To see this kind of devastation is actually incredible, and to what's happening over in Lahaina. And so we see the president show up yesterday, and him and his wife got there. Some of the things you're not seeing on the propaganda networks is the fact that the Hawaiian people protested him. They said things, basically, let's go Brandon type of remarks. We won't use the language here, but that type of stuff like that. And by the way, some of the videos we're going to show, if there's language in it, get over it. These people's lives have been destroyed, and they're upset. And some of them are.
Some of these locals.
I don't think there's much, but if they happen to be a slip of a word here and there, you can deal with it. They're having to deal with a lot right now in Lahaina. So, but anyways, want to go through some of this, and so want to kind of refer to one of the first clips what happened over there and some of the things that are going on. So if we're looking at this, let me get right here to this. It says Joe Biden sparks outrage by comparing Hawaiian blaze that killed at least 114, which is 115 today's count, to a kitchen fire at his house after making a tone-deaf hot ground joke to the rescuers. It's insane, this gaffe that this president brings to the table. It's insane. Whenever he was at the Gold Star families, talking about these families that lost 13 loved ones over in the Afghanistan evacuation, and their children, their young men and women were killed. What's Joe Biden do? He goes up and compares it to his son Beau, his death, as he the regret and the sorrow he had as his son's body came home under that flag. His son's body never did come home under that. That's just another lie this president has always conveys. He died of cancer here in the mainland. I mean, right here in the in this country. So he was not in any foreign country. He didn't die of war-related injuries and stuff like that. So when we look at that, what it says here again, look what this says. Let me put that back up on the screen. You guys have that back there? Again, Joe Biden sparks outrage by comparing the Hawaiian blaze. It's insane. And not only that, he goes on to actually try to relate to the Hawaiian people as a kitchen fire that he had experienced in his home and how devastating it was to lose, since 1972, to lose his wife and stuff like that. It's so, it says they're speaking near the charred ruins of the sacred banyan tree. So Biden talked about the death of his wife in a car crash that it's just insane and stuff. So we want to show you some of this stuff, and for you to get maybe to excite you to go check this out for yourself. Again, unfortunately for the Hawaiian people, they're getting what they voted for, and it's not things I'm saying. Yeah. This is what their own people are saying. We're getting what we voted for.
Correct. Yeah.
And stuff. So you have a governor that's Democrat, you have a senator that's a Democrat, the president is Democrat, and when you look at everything that's happening over there, it's absolutely
You're trying to think to yourself, we knew this was going to come.
Yeah.
We tried to warn everyone, if you vote for these people, this is what is going to happen to us.
Well, real quick, some of the stuff that goes around, and we can't confirm this next story, but check this out. Look at this next one. Go to the next one, you guys,
okay,
on
here we
go. The Marines. Let me see, I'll get it right here. Look what it says. United States Marines Friday neutralized FEMA convoy that fled fire-stricken Lahaina. And what they did is they headed to a 33-acre wilderness home of the state's highest peak. That's Haleakala, which is one of the mountains there. And from where FEMA might have escaped, again, it talks about a downed helicopter. This says the chase began early Friday morning when the Marine platoon and FEMA had a shootout in Maui Forest Reservation, east of Lahaina Beach, responding in intelligence reports that the Marines caught FEMA red-handed burying corpses in earthen grave that the feds had excavated with backhoes. A possession of the FEMA agents hauled the bodies of men and women and children out of a M35 deuce and half cargo truck. Here's what it's saying is basically, if you read this and look at this here article, that it's talking about what FEMA is doing over there. So if you refer back to last week's video, I'm not going to spend time going backwards. You can look at that. You see some of the locals saying they've not seen FEMA, and one of the young men was walking around the pallets of food and supplies that were, and they're being told you can't have any of that. And according to this article, they're burying not only that, but all the FEMA response. I just want to say this, don't send money to FEMA. Find organizations that you can trust.
Don't send
I
it
wanted to have that for you
FEMA?
today.
Don't send it to
I
Red
will
Cross.
try to I'll try to at a later date, no Red Cross. Red Cross
don't
is
send it to
bailed. The locals, here's what the propaganda media is telling you, how much FEMA's doing, the government's doing there. Those are staged photographs because whenever you talk to them, they cannot find these people. And so it's just crazy.
It is.
What's
crazy.
happening over there and stuff like that. Want to go to the next, if you guys could leave that on the screen like that. I want to show you this video here. He's saying, let's go way back a couple decades with Hurricane Katrina. People went in to start mopping up and cleaning up and helping people instantly.
Yeah.
When we go through any of a Hurricane Alley, people come back and start digging through everything and start trying to get their lives back together.
Get everything
and
back.
All of a sudden, this type of information's happening. So let's go back to this.
More of what's happened. Daniel Zach asked, to my people on Maui, is all of this true? Fire hydrants were dry. Fire marshals were out of town that night.
That's crazy.
The mayor and the governor were out of town. People who were trying to evacuate were told it was not time to evacuate and to turn around back into the fire. No cops on bullhorns. No firefighters.
Just leave it on that screen because I don't want to go back to leave it right there. Right here when it's talking about is I looked for the video and I might have it. I don't know if we'll be able to see that today, but we're one of the families that had jumped in the ocean. I couldn't find that video, but this young man had videotaped his whole family getting in a car and they were coming down Front Street in Lahaina. And they went bumper to bumper to bumper all the way as flames are coming over their cars. And they got out and it says, finally, blue sky. And they looked up and they saw blue sky. And then they got up and all of a sudden the mother goes, what are they doing? So the cops are turning us around. And they got up to them and the cops turned them around and said, we're being ordered to send you back the other way. So they sent them back into the fire in which they had to run from their car as it exploded into flames and jump in the ocean. And so you'll see that with families that are being interviewed now. And by the way, if they're on the major networks, that's all edited information. In other words, they're going to just edit out what they don't want you to hear them say. I saw that in one of the videos yesterday, where one of the ladies that's really complaining about what's happening in Lahaina, all of a sudden was talking and she had a different tone while she was on a propaganda network. I'm not going to mention the networks, you know who they are. And so her tone changed, which was more like to say she was being coached and saying, if you say this or this or this, we just won't put you on TV. And you could tell that because earlier last week we put one out where she's just fired up about what's happening there. But again, people were being that were trying to evacuate were being turned to go back and stuff like that. So
go back into
as we continue this on.
In the streets. Most robust emergency siren system in the world didn't sound. No warnings whatsoever. Anomalies with reported wind directions that don't scientifically add up. Tourists evacuated by bus. Locals locked in and told that they can't get back in if they leave. School was canceled. Children were home while parents worked. Hundreds of children burned alive. Can't be identified. A perfect circle of fire around Lahaina. Molten metal next to intact trees. Media reporting fractions of real numbers. New insurance policies taken out on Lahaina before the fires. Who owns Lahaina besides the Hawaiians?
Here's the point. When you just look at this list and you think about what's happening there, there's 1,000 people still missing. You'll see this from the mayor. My question is 2 weeks later, are they just still laying under some tin? Or are they behind a wall somewhere? In 2 weeks, if these people haven't been found yet, that number's not 115, that number's 1,000 plus people. This is big. And the government doesn't want you to know it's that big. They want it to seem like it's just like, for instance, where in the world are the parents of these lost children or the children that can't find their parents? Why is that not happening? It's like they just disappeared off the face of the earth. And so it's...
all for what?
Anyways, let's watch this.
The oceanfront property, the government. Wild how all this new uninhabitable land that only big developers can afford to clean up opened up for the plans of turning Maui into a smart island with billionaire funding. How many do you need? It goes on and on and on. Literally surrounded by water, Hawaiian official M. Kaleo Manuel refused to release water in Maui.
Watch this.
As the fire.
This is insanity of liberals.
Manuel is the deputy director of the Department of Land and Natural Resources. Let's listen in as he explains that water should be revered but not used even in an emergency.
This is hard to watch.
Is responsible per our authorizing statute to protect and manage all water resources in the state. One Water is like looking at it from a holistic system perspective, and that's not any different than how Hawaiians traditionally managed water. You know, in essence, we treated Native Hawaiians treated water as one of the earthly manifestations of a god and a kua kane.
What?
And so that reverence for a resource and that reciprocity in relationship was something that was really, really important to our worldview and well-being, right? And living in an island, isolated from other, civilizations. And so I think where it shifted to today or over time is that we've become used to looking at water as like something which we use and not necessarily something that we revere as that thing that gives us life, right? I mean, to me,
if you need to go take a break, just get your head back straight. What did he just say? That water is this type of inequity, that you just have to use it in a balance? How about whenever your whole town is burning down, you send every bit of water there you can get. You put helicopters dipping out of the ocean. We saw helicopters basically flying and filming over the top of Lahaina in those high winds, but no one was picking up water and doing water drops and any of that. So let's carry on with this guy. If there's not charges brought upon him, something's wrong with this country.
It's a shift in value set. And, if we can start to really look at how we as humans in an island can reconnect to that traditional value set. So really my motto is always like, let water connect us and not divide us. Like we can share it, but it requires true conversations about equity.
Another question to ask.
That guy should go to prison for that. He's basically saying, okay, all the water was shut off because, we need to use it fairly throughout the island's equity. We need some over here, you need some, let's all keep it fair. Whenever your town is burning down, use all the water you can find to put that out.
Because it's completely fine. Let children burn, let the families burn, let them turn around their cars, go back in fire, yeah. They don't see anything wrong with that. They don't see.
One of the young men that was in the ocean, he said the wind coming off of the fire was so hot out in the water that they had to keep going underwater to cool themselves down because it was that hot,
it's that
like
bad.
A blowtorch. So imagine that wind blowing and that at 100, 70, 80 to 100 miles an hour, and it's full of nothing but red hot wind.
Yeah.
That's got to be, it's crazy. So here we go.
Is why? Why were Maui police ordered to shut down the distribution of emergency supplies to the locals who were affected by Maui?
Watch this.
Take a look and you'll see even the police were questioning the orders.
Crazy.
It's absolutely mind-blowing that supplies for families in need are being turned away.
There is extreme corruption going on with the government here. They took
It's your locals.
150 meals to be delivered for the people in need that are starving and don't have food or water. They were denied because they don't have a commercial
people just living there, trying to survive.
And the boats that are trying to leave and give supplies to Lahaina and the people in need are having to bust through barricades to deliver supplies. So it seems like at every single turn, the government is doing everything that they can to make sure that the people here
don't survive.
Need help, do not get help. FEMA came and picked up a bunch of supplies and nobody knows where they went. I know in the situations, they found shipping containers full of supplies never given to those in need. So super sketchy.
Something is very wrong with all of this. I mean, all of it. There are endless videos of
Something's definitely wrong, and it goes on and
they don't even care that we know it.
And you keep watching your propaganda news, and they'll tell you your press secretary for the president, Karine Pierre BS, which in the church world stands for bull snot, just lies, talking about all this tons of help and relief, and the National Guard's there. The National Guard's there, and we'll show you here a little bit later on. They're there. They're there to lock everybody out and keep everybody away, and things like that. So let's continue on. There's a lot to cover today.
Yeah.
Hopefully you'll stick with us.
Are absolutely wild.
I want to say this reason, because we're Polynesians, we're Hawaiians here. And most of my life I've been in California. So if, some of you locals out there are saying you don't sound Hawaiian. I moved away. I moved from Hawaii in '94. I've been here, but I was raised here. I'm been native to California, but lived in Hawaii. My point is this: I'm probably one of the very few contacts we are Polynesians that are willing to research and look what's happening over there.
We are.
And here, and my family members are coming out of the woodwork thanking me on Facebook and saying, cuz, thank you for someone doing this and getting the word out. And we're a small church. We don't have thousands of people watch our podcasting and stuff like that. But you can. And so you can get out there and start shining a light on this, or this government's going to get away with it. This is exactly what Hitler did with the brown shirts in Nazi Germany. This is exactly the same thing. This is how it begins. And watch what happens.
We definitely need you out there spreading aloha. My father, all my life, shared the culture with me and my brother as we were growing up, even though we were raised here in California. Raised here, we get to hear all these wonderful, amazing things about this beautiful land. And then I got to go there twice. Even got to go there for my honeymoon and get to enjoy the locals.
At Lahaina.
Yeah, at Lahaina. I got to enjoy the locals, their restaurants, everything they had there. We got to take pictures there, and all of a sudden it's all gone. Everything. And they all thought I was Hawaiian just because I told them my name, Ke aloha ka ole lapono. But then once they heard me talk, they realized I'm from somewhere else. But this is still our family over there, home over there.
We're Hawaiian Okies.
People, yeah. But we want to make sure this information goes everywhere. So you see this video, please spread this information to anyone you can find.
It was a firestorm. I know, but there was tornadoes of ash the size of charcoal from a barbecue, like being thrown by baseball players. I'm ducking.
See, when this guy's talking and you're looking at the information, and if you look over to the side and scroll down, it's so many locals are coming out of the woodwork talking about what's actually happening there and the fencing that's going on, and we'll show you that here in a second also. But it's a mess. It really is. And it's only the locals that are bringing food. Right now, the government has not done anything. We're in the 22nd of this month. So this has been 2 weeks ago, and the government still hasn't done anything. They just keep telling you where they are, but they haven't, and the locals will tell you that. They'll say, we haven't seen anybody. Tulsi Gabbard asks us, have you seen FEMA? And one of the guys goes, everybody I know has not seen them yet, but I don't know, I'm not sure. You'd have to ask all of them. But the point is, you don't see this happening in war-torn areas. You don't see this happening in any of the major catastrophes. You don't see it happening in Ukraine right now. One of the Hawaiian guys, he goes, you know what? We should change our name to Ukraine. We'd get billions of dollars. This president, our crazy president, offered the families, not individuals, $700.
He also authorized one-time payments of $700
there you go.
per household to folks who've been displaced.
That's like $300 in Hawaii.
Things of just taking care of medications and prescriptions that they so badly need.
And that he loves chocolate chip ice cream. Come on, man.
$700 for Maui fire victims.
A whopping $700. That should get your house built and all your supplies and everything done. $700. And I don't know, maybe he thinks we over here in the mainland are going to think these natives over there, you know, that things are pennies on the dollar. You know, everything's like it is in India or some of these different countries that may be third world countries. Hawaii's
expensive,
super expensive. $700, you know. Remember, we just sent Ukraine another, I think, 40 billion. I'm not sure on the figure, but I think it's at least 40 billion. And I think that's up to $140 billion we've sent to Ukraine. Palestine with the train wreck, no help. You've got to ask yourself, what in the world's wrong with these people? I said this in 2020. I says, before this man's 4 years are up, you're going to see this country destroyed.
Yeah, you did.
I said, before you see his 4 years up, I was wrong, completely wrong, because he was able to accomplish it in 2 years. 2 years.
Or is it?
Because we're not yet 3 years. I mean, so I'm not saying it's not. He's not 2 years, but what I'm saying is
he's able to accomplish everything pretty fast.
But he got it done in about 2 years, and in this third year, everything's destroyed. It's a mess.
Yeah,
it's a mess. So I want to continue on with this video, and again, here we go.
The U.S. has sent billions of dollars to Ukrainians, but only $700 to Hawaiians. What kind of message is that sending to the rest of the world? Hawaii's Democratic Governor Josh Green sent a message clearly indicating a land grab by saying that he is already actively thinking about ways for the state to acquire the land that was annihilated by the blaze. Just a reminder, on January 3rd of 2023, Maui announced plans to become one of the first American smart cities, or 15-minute cities.
There you go.
In order for a 15-minute city or smart city to be implemented, unelected globalists must first control the land with no private ownership. Listen closely to what Green had to say.
I'm already thinking about ways for the state to acquire that land so that we can put it into workforce housing, to put it back.
That should just tell you what's going on.
Lahaina are already getting offers for their now available land from developers.
Shame on them.
Many coincidences surrounding the Maui fires, but let's take a look closer at this one.
Not that long ago, Hawaiian government officials in the areas that were just affected by the wildfires passed a law saying that land could not be redistricted for new building permits unless some sort or some type of a serious natural disaster occurred.
Here's what this guy's saying. In July, a month ago, they passed laws concerning this same event. And if you watch the podcast from last week, you see that they've already, in 5 days, they wrote a book, published it, and got it out for sale about these same fires. It took 5 days. It took 4 days to begin to evict people out of their homes that didn't get burnt out. They said, you got to go too. Everybody's got to get out of here and stuff. So those are the things. You know, last week when we did our spot with Tulsi Gabbard and stuff like that, we showed you the locals working and stuff like that with people like Kai Lenny. He's one of world champion surfer that's out there working. You'll see him in some of these videos and different things like that. But anyways, I kind of want to move past this, kind of get into some of the information that's further on. So let me see if I can get this.
Yeah, wasn't that book on climate change?
Yeah, and the book's mostly climate change.
We showed one of those videos last week, that woman.
From the Hill explained in 2017,
Feel bad for those locals.
Local Hawaiians who owned interest on small pieces of land within his estate were subject to lawsuits by Zuckerberg's lawyers. This is the face of neo-colonialism. Kapua Sprout, a law professor at the University of Hawaii, told The Guardian in 2017. Even though a forced sale may not physically displace people, it's the last nail in the coffin of separating us from the land. Mega wealthy people like Mark Zuckerberg have purchased so much land in Hawaii that native Hawaiians, they cannot own land on their native island. Cernovich tweeted, Hawaii went 2-1 for Joe Biden. All their native land is being stolen from them by Democrats. My heart weeps for Maui, but this is what they voted for.
He's right.
We said.
He's right. That's correct.
Mark Zuckerberg is salivating. Cernovich also replied to a video of former President Barack Obama saying, your BlackRock friends are going to carve up that native land to hand out to Mark Zuckerberg and other colonists and oligarchs. Like yourself, you probably already have your new place mapped out. So, the most land in Hawaii and stands to benefit the most.
Oh, we all know Obama's never been a good guy.
Oprah Winfrey, Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos. All of Hawaii will soon belong to the billionaires. One billionaire who is actually helping those in Hawaii is Elon Musk. Who tweeted, Tesla and SpaceX Starlink.
By the way, from an aerial shot, Oprah backs her land up to Lahaina. Nothing got touched on Oprah's property. And I don't remember if we said this last week, but I'll repeat it. In 2017, the Montecito fires down south, it burned up 70 plus acres of land. And so as it did, it burned everything around her mansion. And then she comes back to basically buy the land. She bought it all up. Now here's my point. Now she's in Lahaina doing the same thing. Her land didn't get touched. And if you look right where Lahaina is, it all burnt. It's nothing but ash. But if you look right down the beach, all the millionaires' homes hadn't been touched. Nothing's been touched and stuff. So
why would it be?
You know,
why would it be
that's
touched?
just suspicious. Too many things, as you saw that list a while ago, going on and on and on and on.
It's not just that. It's so many things that to the point they don't care whether we know or not.
Yeah, they don't care.
They don't care whether the people know. They'll blatantly say it.
They'll tell you right out front, we're going to eliminate world
We're
population.
stealing their land.
They'll own nothing and be happy.
Yeah.
You know, that's Klaus Schwab at Davos, Switzerland. Anyways, all this is happening. And man, I wish, one of the things I wish would happen is Elon Musk could come and say, every one of you, I'm going to rebuild for you. I'm going to put this island back into shape and things like that. But you know, President Trump, get over there and do something and help these guys turn this state back to red.
Yeah, we need Trump back. Amen.
Get these guys back to red. This is what happens when you listen to liberal policies too long.
Never listen to
liberals. They kept telling you we're going to, again, the governor, we're going to turn this into a memorial. See, that sounds good. Sounds like,
it always sounds good coming from Democrats. Always sounds good.
Especially to the mainland people, it sounds good. It's like, what a wonderful thing to do.
Good idea.
Until you realize they're taking your land away from you that's worth maybe millions and millions of dollars of beachfront coveted real estate right in the state of Hawaii.
And they offer you pennies.
And they, or just take it from you, eminent domain it.
Yeah,
that's what the governor said. I'm going to eminent domain it. So that's big stuff.
They probably don't even know what that means.
Gets stealing your land. So let's move on. Let's look at this again. Let's go on.
Doing our best to be helpful to Hawaii. And by the way, did we ever hear back about those Chinese lasers beaming above Hawaii only 7 months ago?
Unusual sight captured on camera. Japanese and local astronomers say a Chinese satellite was recently seen beaming down green lasers over the islands.
The lasers flash for just a couple seconds. Initially thought to be from a NASA altimeter satellite, the Japanese put out a correction note on Monday saying NASA scientists found a most likely candidate as the ACDL instrument by the Chinese Daki-1 AEMS satellite. I went to a...
You know, whether it's conspiracy or whether it's
it's another conspiracy.
DEWs, whatever it is.
What's the chances it's true?
I know one of the things, the locals were taking pictures of these brush fires. They were just grass fires. And they were saying, wonder why there's a grass fire over there. Oh, look, they put it out. Oh, now there's another one over there. Oh, look, they put it out. And look at another one over there. See, if they can classify this as a natural disaster, that affects all the insurance. They can't get paid out of it because that's a natural disaster type situation like earthquakes and flooding and all that. But it really limits the insurance ability for the folks there in Lahaina. And again, we're not boots on the ground. We can only take the information we're getting from things that are getting out there. I wished I could be there right now, and I know we both do wish that we could be there. I want to go to the next video. I'm not sure that I know where we're at. You guys got that for me?
Yeah, go up to your right. Right there, you go.
Okay.
That's it.
This here is a local realtor with a couple that, again, he's interviewing, and I don't want to waste time, but basically he does his intro to his podcasting, and I want to get right to the couple speaking. This is a local people that he brought into his home. That's the only clothes they own, they're wearing, and so here it is.
Kihei for a brief, I don't know, a year or so. We run a landscape business here that's called Eco Glue Landscaping. We try to be environmentally safe, no Roundup, and none of that junk.
This is the husband and wife, I hear?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's always a fight trying to keep people employed and keep business going when you're trying to do that, which is, to me, backwards, right? That should be how everybody should be thinking. So we're all the hospitality we've been shown. It's all been from our community.
Anything from any of the big organizations that you mentioned today in the speech? Anything from FEMA or Red Cross that you've directly received that you're aware of?
I have never, I've never heard from them or
Back this up just a little bit. Now watch this.
Big organizations that they mentioned today in the speech. Anything from
Look at her face.
Red Cross that
This is just yesterday. Now, the president's already told all of his promises and what he was going to do. By the way, nothing he's ever promised ever been true.
Yeah,
but here it is, and he's being asked by Eric West. This man's name is Eric West. He's a realtor in Hawaii. What doesn't mean he's a land grabber. He's a local businessman. His job is just his profession. He's a realtor, but he's documenting everything for court cases. So he every day comes up with a documentation of what's happening per day. So let's go back a little bit.
everything. We have each other, but we literally, everything I'm wearing, everything we're wearing is loaned to us by the grace of friends and family and just random people. All the food we've eaten, all the hospitality we've been shown, it's all been from our community.
Anything from any of the big organizations that they mentioned today in the speech?
Look at her head.
She ain't having it.
She ain't having it.
I've never heard from them, or I've never personally seen anyone from any governmental organization at all. I've seen them on the news, but I've never seen one or heard from any of them.
Remember what they're saying right now. They just had the president there, and they showed videos all over your propaganda networks of FEMA walking around and searching with 40 dogs and all this stuff like that. And here's locals going, we haven't seen that yet. That means they're going to areas that are fenced off, filming what they want to film.
Just so we can see it.
Then they all go, okay, let's pack it up and let's go home.
So they look good.
And then that's what the news networks are showing you right now. Here's
Fake.
locals telling you right now, yeah, but nothing has happened.
A little bit of Trump. Fake news.
So it's all been just the amazing spirit of connectivity that Mao.
The locals.
Yeah.
The squabbles and strife between neighbors and groups that just went away with the fire. I mean, it really did, you know, and we're all just kind of ready to do something amazing out of this, but unfortunately, lots of us don't have anything yet to do that with, and a lot of people we know, our insurance is woefully inadequate.
Underinsured, essentially.
Underinsured.
This is one of the problems they're going to have over there. This guy's name is Eric West. Again, if you want to look him up, Eric West. He's doing a day-by-day documentary. He started during the fire. He started documenting everything, and he'll tell you if you watch them all. He has on his channel, he has all of the videos listed. One of them, I don't remember which one it is. He says, I'm doing this in order to keep a documentary of during the court cases.
Yeah.
So that they can't, so either there's some type of record. So this guy is actually taking on the responsibility on his own to be the day-by-day recorder and stuff. So
that's amazing. Wow.
Yeah.
That's great. Jeez.
We all bought years ago. We're already kind of the bottom of the barrel, probably, so to speak, just dilapidated and stuff. And then we've all put just years, like in our house, we put 8 years of love and effort into restoring a 1950 home, and you know.
And the work you did was amazing.
Yeah, thank you. Thank
how
you.
much love and effort and money and time you put into that is unfathomable.
Move down this.
It's all gone.
Some technical issues here in the war zone, but essentially we were talking. If you have pictures or video of the day of this fire, before, during, after.
See, they're asking for as much information from the locals.
iPhone or your Android, please upload those as soon.
The only reason anything's getting out is Elon Musk has got his Starlink over there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah,
you saw sparking.
Yeah, and
on
that's
a
a
live
good,
wire.
really good point that we.
You said that's the only way we are able to see it?
Is that they're called, we hear it on the media a lot, this being called a wildfire, natural occurring almost, kind of, and I'm just telling you right now, that's just absolutely untrue. It was just caused by overhead electrical grid, flat out, and anybody that has anything to do with high voltage, we've had plenty of them, and I was like, and I have oxygen settling, I was like, dude, I probably blew up our house. But no, all those cylinders did their job, all the baffles and the construction of them.
Well, anyways, this couple right here, this is part of their interview, and they're talking about the things that went on and stuff like that. And so I want to get to the part where the mayor is speaking. And so if I could get back to that, Laura, I don't see my stuff on. What am I looking for?
Yeah, the small square, double click. Double click.
See if you can do it back there. But anyways,
well,
we're just making this as we go because, you know, this stuff is just happening real time and stuff like that. So, but help me out with. Okay, there we go.
You want this one? We'll go back to the other one.
No, I think this will work.
So you're good, you're on it now?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Now this is Eric West again. Now.
Go, and that's what we're doing. We're on a mission right now to go to Lahaina. We've received a report actually that there's a couple that are in their 70s that are still in an apartment at Lahaina Roads. I was texted earlier.
He's trying to rescue and he's trying to find help for him.
He's trying to help as much as he can, every person.
Website. John Morgan has done a fantastic job marrying needs and resources. So if you go there, you can click to. But that has been difficult as my schedule has gotten a little busy with all of the administration.
This is the same gentleman that we were looking at in the last video as daily he's going by and stuff. So
I'll be able to do. But we're also busy interviewing people. Like Fish came over to the house earlier. If you haven't watched that video, please do so.
There's not a lot of information here, but I want you to see.
In Lahaina town, the audio is poor. We actually had to fix the audio, which we re-uploaded that video. I also just put up a video, which is an aerial 4K drone tour of Lahaina town. The day after the fire, 2 days after the fire, that was when that drone footage was shot. I put it out there into the public domain. If you need it, utilize it. I also overlaid audio from the Native Hawaiians that sang the other day at their press conference.
Yeah,
ultimately,
that was amazing. Got to watch that.
Is so near and dear to the heart of the people of Lahaina. If you went to school at Lahaina Luna, you know that you sang that song, right, Dylan? You sang that song a lot, huh? So if that one doesn't move you to compassion for this island, that song, I posted it and I listened to it, and it literally brought me. Fish was talking about in the videos right here at this location that people were supposedly allegedly kept from crossing. You can see there's.
So here's what they're doing. They've already got up. That was in days. They got up all this fencing away from all these homes, and it's chain link the other side.
The fencing that's been put up, obviously.
That's unusual. Most people are allowed to go back in.
That's been put up, and then over here on our right.
They can't even get into their loved ones. They may be. It's.
Whatever material, tarp material.
All the catastrophes in our country, since I've been alive, I've never seen this.
I don't know if that's New Zealand tight lock fencing. I used to be a hunter and pretty familiar with it. It's designed to keep everything out. It's pretty tall. I'm going to say it's 6 or 7 or 8 feet.
They'll go here in a second.
Oh, sorry about that with the gimbal. We have gimbal issues sometimes. Over here to the left, you're going to see another guard station. So right here, I think might be the closest place we can go to talk to some guardsmen in regards to our situation, the closest entry point. Show the camera to the.
I see everything's closed down.
Hey, gentlemen, we have a question for you. We have received notice that there's someone in Lahaina Roads, that condo building on Front Street. and it's an elderly couple, and they've got dementia, and they're running out of food and water. Do you know if anyone is servicing Lahaina roads as far as residents that are living there?
I think like the volunteers are, and
okay.
Then, but I know over here we're not allowing, but I think down there they have one.
See, there's a National Guard, and
okay.
again, they're there now, but they're not there working or going through. They're just blocking things and working as security. You know, these are local National Guard from Hawaii. They're basically working security. If you look back in any of it, you don't see any crews nowhere.
What to do about this particular couple that is at Lahaina roads. And we're going to continue to show you images from around this particular area.
What number am I on, you guys?
Notice the fence on the right has even, well, yeah, still blacked out. I don't know if we can ask this guy or who we ask. This is as far as we can go before we get turned around. We might have to get out.
See, here's another situation where, again, see, they're just directing and like security, but you can't go down that way.
Government resources, I believe up here we've got worldcentralkitchen.org.
See, these are locals. These are got.
I can ask in here, but I might try. Closed today. See, I don't see anybody official in here that I can ask any questions to. That's nakamakai.org.
So these are just some of the different. See, they're guarding things off, stuff like that. That's what they're doing. They're, and of course, they're just doing their job, but they're not working the scene. They're just guarding things. I've lost count where I'm at, you guys. But anyways, this is some of the stuff that's happening over there in that. So
We'll go to the next one, I think.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lahaina Road's correct. Yeah, I have a text message. I have the
I'm still hearing the other one.
Oh, well, you got to stop it.
I got two going the same time.
They're hiding. They're hiding.
You do. How many children are missing? You know.
I knew the answer to that. I would be happy to answer that.
You have no estimate as to how many children are missing?
I guess
Nothing?
we can end this right now.
Any hesitance to announce that is like all the names that have
Let me back this up just a little bit.
The media availability, and things got heated when one resident interjected.
Now, whenever they were asking the emergency management agency, his name is Herman Andaya, he's the one that was asked the question, should you have turned the sirens on? And whenever they bucked that a little bit, and they said, no, we did right by that. We didn't want to turn them on because we're afraid people would run in the fires. I don't know about you folks out there. I don't know how intelligent, that the people of, that are listening are. But whenever you put off a fire alarm or any alarm, I don't look for the danger and run to it. And he said, well, that's for tsunamis, Well, I get that. But when you set off a tsunami warning, it means you need to get up and start leaving because the ocean looks fine right now, but it's going to change real quick. And stuff. So that's what the warning is for. So their thing was, let's not sound any alarms because they might run out of their houses and run straight into fire. Humanly understanding, has anybody ever done that? Has anybody ever heard of alarm and went, I'm going to run into the fire and stuff? So
yeah, liberals,
it's ridiculous the way
Liberal
they
geniuses.
say this. But anyways, Herman Andaya, he resigned the next day from his position as the emergency maintenance agency director. But when he was questioned, this same mayor that you're going to watch right here steps out and he gets right all over the reporter asking important questions. These are important questions. And as soon as it does, he's like, it's not your turn, you're out of line, you shouldn't be doing like this. And this is stuff that's why we're a free nation.
Right.
And then we talk about freedom of the press all the time, and the liberals are always talking about, all Donald Trump and the way he would ridicule and call him the fake press. And here they're doing exactly the same thing. And watch what happens here whenever we see this.
Down, and also all the names that have been announced so far have been elderly. Are there children that have been found, and is there any hesitance to announce that, because that'll obviously just be a different level of heartbreak?
I don't know.
Yes, you do. How many children are missing? You know.
I knew the answer to that. Happy to answer that.
You have no estimate as to how many children are missing?
I guess we can end this right now if you guys want.
I can end this right now if you want.
This is one of the biggest questions that the people of Lahaina have, but you don't want to answer.
It always takes one or two to ruin it for everybody. Please, this is our first only.
Well, we can say that about you. You ruined it for everyone.
You're welcome to say it. You're the media. You can say whatever you want.
You're a disaster.
All right. Okay. Please.
There it is again. Watch this.
They're going after him.
Please, this is our first only.
They're not messing around.
He says, only takes one to ruin it for everybody. He didn't like the question.
You can say whatever you want.
You're a disaster.
All right. Okay. Please.
You've been the worst mayor we could possibly imagine.
These are locals.
He's a Democrat.
Respect. Respect what? This is the most dismal response we've ever had.
You won't wait for your turn. You want to shout over these guys that are legitimate.
Why don't you give them the real answers then? Give them the real answers.
That's not his question.
Let him.
Yeah. You can go. Yeah.
Let me say something real quick about this. You think, well, aren't those locals also like the mayor and people like that? When Soros or people like that are talking in your ear, you're going to do what they tell you to do.
Jeez.
These people are going to do what they're told to do. They're on the same agenda, the same narrative. And so we're not talking about just the locals that lost everything. These people haven't lost anything. They're just sitting up there in their ivory palaces, just dictating, what these are going to do, what people are going to live by and stuff. So let's continue on with this.
Time with all the devastation and deaths.
Whenever we look at this, let me
stop the video.
When we look at this, when we look at the mayor, his name is Richard Bisson, and Bissen. And so it's insane, just some of the things that these people are having to deal with over there and stuff like that. So, I was watching a video this morning with a man by the name of Jonathan Melquiades. And when it first happened, his wife was on the phone with him, but they didn't know anything all day long. And you could go look that up, Jonathan Melquiades. His video came out and stuff is on some of these podcasts like Eric West. But he said he was talking to his wife and said, "Oh, there's a few fires and this and that. And the fire department's put them out and everything was normal, a normal day." And says, and all of a sudden he got a phone call and says, "Our whole block is on fire and our house is on fire and I'm running with the kids." He was like on the other side of the island, like, "What are you talking about? What's going on?" Says, "Our house is burning down and I'm trying to escape," and the phone went dead. And so for several days, he thought his wife and his 2 children perished until he got news that they had survived, but because they were separated, he couldn't even for a few days get to his family members.
That's terrible. That's terrifying.
Because he couldn't get back into Lahaina. They wouldn't let him in to get to his own family and stuff that had survived it. But just that fear, can you imagine spending a couple days of your life thinking your family perished? And the relief to find out they didn't and his excitement, but to know that you couldn't even find out or get to them and stuff like that. So I think let's go to this. I want to show you one more. You guys know where I'm at?
We'll go to the next tab.
Is that right there?
This is the second to the last.
I know, I'm trying to get off that.
So this is the last one.
Okay.
Or second to the last, you got one more.
Let's.
Wire fire has killed at least 55 people.
So it's early on.
Fire destroyed the historic town of Lahaina and left thousands of people homeless in what's being described as the worst natural disaster in Hawaii's history. On Thursday, President Biden issued a major disaster declaration for the state, freeing up federal funds. CNN reports the fire in Maui is now the second deadliest blaze in the United States and is.
This is why I wanted you to see this, is CNN, and it talks about all the help going to Hawaii. It's not there.
The search crews reach areas destroyed by the fast-moving fires. Hospitals are overwhelmed with burn patients. Power and cell service remains out for much of the area. Authorities say the fire destroyed all the buildings in the historic section of Lahaina, which once served as the capital of the Hawaiian Kingdom. Hawaii's Governor Josh Green says it looks like a bomb went off in the town. Later in the show, we'll speak to 2 Native Hawaiian activists in Maui, but we begin with a horrifying account.
I was walking there.
Fresno, California.
Jeez.
Luis Fonselenko, who survived the fire by racing into the ocean with his wife and
It's from Fresno, right here.
visiting Lahaina for dinner when they got trapped by the fire.
We tried to make a way back, but we couldn't. We got stuck. We tried to come back. We ended up in Front Street, my family and I, and it was just black smoke coming above us, and traffic was stuck.
Like right there, when you look at that video, a lot of it is in the daytime, but it looked black because of the nighttime because of the black smoke.
And I had to think fast. We had to get out. We left our vehicle, and myself, my wife, and our 5 kids, we all got in the ocean. We found
5 kids.
that we hung on to, and everything we were out there floating. And it was just so surreal, and everything was burning around, explosions, cars.
Gee. Wow.
Like, embers was flying, we couldn't breathe. Because we couldn't breathe, there's no air, it's just the carbon monoxide. And we held on as best as we could. My wife, my kids, my older ones helped with the younger ones, and we tried to stick out together. The waves was trying to take us out to the ocean. We had to come back. There were some locals that helped us too, that were with us.
Can you imagine a father having to jump in the ocean with 5 little ones and try to keep them all safe? My hat goes off to this young man.
Until we found the little cove area where we were about for an hour. With 2 of the locals were with us, and my family. I found some sheet metal to cover them because there was just still fire all around us. And embers were flying out. We cover them.
Well, I'm going to kind of wrap this up.
Yeah.
I want to get to this last one, and I want you to see the spirit of aloha. And,
this is good. Yeah.
I want to show a little bit of this lady, and we'll move on to the end of it, because both really, these people come up and they want to share their feelings, but they pretty much say the same thing, each one of them. And but this young lady starts out so let's kind of get started here.
Nakama e haawi pio ole ana makahi kaulanai o kaipuku kui pio ole I ke kaua ula. Auhea oko e na ohana na kupa olele e kumbai nei I ka pā heahe o ka makani pā ma'a aloha nui kako that the Commission on Water Resource Management has seen. Ohana that have shown up time and time again, who continue to advocate.
Ohana means family.
Our homelands and resources.
Not the government, the family that have shown up.
We are the Ohana of Lahaina. We are members of the Lahaina community, and it is our community, our Lahaina community, that knows how to best rebuild and kako'o our own community.
Aloha, my name is Tiari Lawrence. We are Na Ohana Olele, a coalition of community members in Lahaina. Today we call on Governor Josh Green to meet 3 demands for the recovery of the Lahaina community. The demands are 1, give our community time to grieve. The fire occurred only 10 days ago and many people are still in shock and mourning. The governor should not rush to rebuild the community without first giving people time to heal, especially without including the community itself in the planning. 2, put the community first in any planning process for rebuilding Lahaina. The governor should work with the community to develop a plan that meets the needs of the people. Fast-track development, cannot come at the cost of community control. Number 3, we ask the governor to amend the emergency proclamation to ensure that Chapter 92 Sunshine Law remains in full force. This law guarantees the public's right to know about government decision making and the discussions and information used in that process. The governor should ensure that all decisions about the rebuilding of Lahaina are made in the open and with full participation of our Lahaina community. We need time to gather all of us together to engage in the important conversations that will be needed. And as Uncle Keamoku reminds us, we are a diverse Lahaina community. Our strength is in our ability to come together, to stand together, to work together, strong and resilient. But we need time to heal and to come together. We also need to be involved in the planning process for rebuilding our community. We ask that the governor meet our demands and work with us to create a better future for Lahaina.
I want to move forward in this.
Discussion. That is the first step.
This is kind of the local proclaimed mayor.
Open, honest.
That is, and the reason I'm cutting forward is they had like 7 speakers, but they all said the same thing: help us, send someone.
We want
send
the government
help.
to involve us.
And he came, the last speaker, just reaffirm everything, because at his house in the burn-up section, he's on the edge of the fire. And that's where all of you look at my podcast, our podcast from last week, you'll see all of his home where all of the help, where Kai Lenny, the surfer, Tulsi Gabbard and stuff are distributing, and all the boats are bringing in food.
A song that is very special to the people of Lahaina. To the media, we will not be accepting questions.
This is a aloha kind.
After, you can talk to Ho'olea and our consulting media team to set up interviews. But at this time, we're going to share Mele Hawaii. Marvin.
It's real low in the ears. I don't know if it's loud enough. But. There you go. That's aloha kind. They've lost everything.
They have no reason to sing. And yet, Hawaiians are.
My kind of an understanding of why we're so musical. Well, just want to say thank you guys for being part of our podcast today. Thank you to Kairos Productions and helping us out with this to go live. I don't know, what's your last thoughts?
My last thoughts would be, I mean, I've been having this thought most of the time since we've been listening to that video and the last few, but may seem a little harsh, folks, but we say like the Hawaiians, yeah, me and my father tried to tell a lot of people what was going on, even Kairos Productions and many other productions were trying to tell a lot of different people what the Democrats are capable of, what they would do. And yes, we agree that the Hawaiians did vote for this, and now they understand what's going on. But even
Turn red.
For all you people out there who we try to tell, we try to let you know that this was going to happen. If you feel any sympathy at all for Lahaina and what's happening on the island, remember the very man you voted for. This is what's going on now.
Well,
so,
it just goes to say this, is that change comes through the vote.
Yes, it does.
And
we can say all we want.
This is just, it can be changed.
Yeah.
It can be, well, we have a chance to turn this around.
Right.
Not only in Lahaina, but in California, in all these states that have, again, these disaster zones called Kensington, Philadelphia, and San Francisco, and Los Angeles, Skid Row, which is the most violent Skid Row in the world.
Yeah.
And stuff. So I was watching that yesterday. Go to Tyler Oliveira and watch his videos. Tyler Oliveira, and his whole thing is about going underground into the Las Vegas tunnels and the people that are living as moles and stuff like that. But you know, I just want to say thank you so much for participating with us in this time.
Lasting this long, listening to everything we have to say.
All the information. And by the way, the information goes on and on and on. One of the videos I just cut out of this and skipped was all the fencing that you saw there is when it was going in and how they were blocking everything off for the people to get back to their stuff. Basically, you know, even if it's burned up, you know, to try to get back and just have a resolve to it that we see in every natural disaster, war-torn countries. I mean, they locked out the media to even get in there instantly as to, we don't want you to see anything right now, where you can send ABC, NBC, CBS, all of them have gone into war-torn parts of the world.
Yeah.
And where helmets and all the body armor, and they're journalists that are reporting right from the war zone, and yet you go over there and everything's secretly done. That should just tell you something. They don't care. They don't care if you know that they're doing it. They don't care if they come out. Look at that mayor, Bisson, who just, you know, first thing is he gets a tough question, goes, we can shut this down right now. That's not the Aloha spirit. They want answers. They want things. They want to know what's going on. They want to know why all this food's sitting over there and they can't have it. They want to know why you're shutting down food lines. They want to know why food trucks that came in and started distributing food, hot food to families, they came and shut them down because they didn't have a health permit. Those are the type of things. And then yet they fast-tracked and said, the contractor said, if you guys don't require any permits, we'll go in there and start building right now and start putting up some housing for these people. Not on the shorefront, way back up on the mountain area where, so that beachfront is saved. And you know, they want to put a memorial up that's going to be down the beach in a parking lot with some names and some type of a rock, has the people that lost in the fire, and they'll put their names on, and they'll call that the memorial. The rest of it will go to billionaires and things like that. So I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how this will turn out, but I know this. No matter what happens, you need to know the truth of what's going on over there, whether it's DEWs, whether or not it was stage fires, whether or not it was truly down power lines.
And like we said, you can go to the locals.
How the
and find
fire
out.
starts doesn't matter if it was just people with lighters. That's not the point. The point is they put it out several times from early on in the day, and they kept telling them everything's okay. And anytime people would call, they say everything's fine, it's under control, we put it out. And they'd go out again. Finally, they called them off and said, there's nothing you can do about this. Fire's gone. By 5 o'clock in the evening, Lahaina burned down in minutes. in minutes. What turned into just a small little brush fires turned into some, almost like every time the fire department would put something out. I saw one of the videos where a guy walked by and he said, "Everything okay?" And he goes, "Good." He says, "Just a little fire." He put it out. And they said about an hour later, they were called back out to another part of Lahaina, and there was another fire started. Not at the billionaire side, just Lahaina side. And they go out and another one's like that. So they would have known if it was down power lines right then.
Yeah.
But if it is, you know, then they need to find out through the Hawaii power grid who's responsible for that.
Right. Even if it was an accident, government should be helping. Even if it was an accident, government should be helping. It doesn't matter.
Just real clear. FEMA's not there. Red Cross isn't there. Don't give to them.
Yeah, don't.
Don't give to them. Our church is looking to send everything that comes and more to go to that. We're looking and investigating where we can put our money, even if it's the locals. We have a local couple over there with a restaurant, a bakery that is doing bakery, and they're helping people. And our people in our church, one of my deacons, he knows that couple personally. And so we may just send to them and see if they can help people. We don't know.
As many as they can.
We know Tulsi Gabbard has put out a place. So is Kai.
Yeah, absolutely. There you go.
Kai Linney, our world champion surfer, has put out a link. We'll put that up later on when we have more settled to where it can go. But I can tell you right now, whenever you see the propaganda media telling you, donate right here, and it points to FEMA, they're lying to you. You're just throwing money away, or you're giving it to the government to send to Ukraine.
Or giving it to Oprah.
And again, I want to say something to all the Hawaiians over there in Lahaina. Do the first thing you can do as fast as you can, get your name changed to Ukraine. Just get your name changed to Ukraine. You can change it back another day.
Another day.
But you'll get billions of dollars.
Also, understand.
Because our president's so stupid, he couldn't even figure out if it's really the real Ukraine or not. But he would
probably.
And I make no apologies for that.
No.
If you guys, politically correct, I'm not. Woke, don't even know what that means.
I'm plenty awake right now.
So I'm going to tell you right now, me and him, we pastor a church that's patriotic, stands up, and we're going to believe in what the Word of God says. We're going to believe as ministers, and we're going to also bring the truth. So these couple episodes have been that.
Right.
And we just want to keep Lahaina in the prayers of the people.
Yes.
Just keep them in your prayers and pray for this. Pray that God would expose the criminals that are behind this, because too much is going on. The emergency maintenance agency director doesn't resign the next day. On the 9th of August, he doesn't resign over that. So there's something going on, and everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. So I'm not going to keep repeating that. I feel
one more thing.
I'm a broken record right now.
And also understand Hawaiians have a beautiful spirit of kindness. They love people, but they also have a great spirit to fight for what they believe in and never quit, never give up. So, Lahaina, we love you. Aloha and mahalo to everyone.
Let's pray. That's what we're doing this for. We are pastors. This is our church sanctuary. This is Christ-Driven Ministries out of Selma, California.
Yeah.
Again, don't forget, we also have the podcast called Fearless Church. If you want to look us up and donate or buy any of our merchandise, we're Fearless Church 33 AD. And you can find anything from cups, anything you want to wear.
Right. Shirt, cups, hats, anything you need.
iPad covers,
and the link in YouTube, go for it, you'll find it.
You'll find it. Again, Fearless Church. But let's pray for them. Father, we ask right now, Lord God, that you would lift up Lahaina and the people there, the people of Maui, Lord God, the families that have been affected, and especially those that are dealing with massive heartache today of losing even this one lady that lost her whole family, and those that have completely, total families are gone now, where none of them survived. And then there's great stories where a family of 15 got out. So we ask that you would just, again, your grace, your mercy be over that place. And don't let the devil come in and destroy these people's possessions and steal it away. But if it does, Lord God, you're coming soon.
Thank you, Jesus.
We know this, the apostasy. We see it happen as in the days of Noah. And so we look up for our Redeemer draws near. We ask that Lahaina and Hawaii would look up and know the same thing.
Yes.
May you get all the glory. May you get all the honor. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Again, God bless you folks. Thanks for watching us. keep abreast.
Yes.
Know what's going on out there. Know what's happening in your world.
My people are destroyed for lack
quit
of knowledge.
watching this propaganda garbage.
Yeah, quit falling for it.
We have the internet today.
Yeah, we have anything you really need to know. And watch out for fake stuff too.
Yeah, to be uninformed in this generation means you literally want to be ignorant or stupid. I mean, really, that's what it is. You literally want to be ignorant because we are in an information age right now. If you get the wrong information, sort through it, check it out. Be your own fact checker. Quit asking Facebook to be your fact checker. Amen? By the way, every one of the fact checkers that was ever checked on us was a lie. So, and those people finally quit and ran off because their facts are always a lie.
I remember one of them sending this to me saying, the fact is wrong. I looked at the website they got it from factcheckers.com, all liberal, completely liberal. Like, you sent me this? Good job. Well done. Now I'm done.
Are you a conservative?
I am a conservative.
I just figured that out.
Hey.
God bless you. We'll see you later. Fearless Church. Thank you, Karis